Welcome back to a Celtic State of Mind. It's half time at Celtic Park. Rangers are a goal up. I'm Paul John Dykes, and today I'm joined by Lawrence Conley and Kevin Tate. Let's pick that performance apart, guys. First and foremost, the goal. What went wrong?
Duffy. He broke the line. I think it's down to Duffy. Obviously, in commentary, Walker slagging Barkas, but there's no much can do. The bounce.
They did focus on Barkas, didn't they?
Duffy's got to hold the line. He's a experienced centre half. You hold your line, the boy's offside. I think it comes down to it being that simple. A lapse by Duffy, our other centre half that we might have had worries about. I think they strolled the game so far, Big Welsh.
He's been very impressive.
A couple of commanding headers, intercepting the ball, a couple of decent balls, a decent pass at the end there that Cham didn't read. Good pace of the ball into the box. If Cham had read that,
you're right.
A front two, not giving us a lot. I mean, Mo, 1-on-1 with the keeper, he's got to put that on target. Hard and low, on target, make the keeper make a save. 9 times out of 10, you're saying that's a goal, and he's decided to try for a lob, but it looks like it comes off his shin. Midfield haven't looked, they've looked comfortable enough. Not seen a lot of Diego in the game, but then there's the other stuff. Did we really expect anything other than the ref letting Morelos away with slapping Brown?
We'll definitely
5-6 fouls.
We'll definitely look at that. We'll look at that. Lawrence, you're talking about like Salt there. Most of the season, a huge majority of our play, Kevin, has gone down the left. Today it hasn't. We've got a player there that can play offensively, and he's not been getting the ball. You look at Frimpong, he's had a few opportunities to start attacking the full-backs at Rangers. Like Salt's not really had that opportunity. And when you're looking at that, and I says to you, during that first half, Rangers are getting all their joy down the right. They're getting all their joy down the right where Greg Taylor, who I know Lawrence is a big fan of, Greg Taylor normally is sitting in there. I don't think at this stage I would be changing the shape. What's your thoughts on that?
I think Greg's more of a left back than a left wing back, and I think Daigo's more of a left wing back than a left back. I thought we were a wee bit passive in the game. The goal was I think an error by Duffy. He played the boy onside. Also surprised to see that the goal scorer Goldson has been picked up by a striker, Elanusi. On the left hand side part, I always kind of feared Rangers down the wings because I think that's their strengths. I would maybe look at Taylor coming on, but definitely Griffiths for up front.
When we put the broadcast out, the great thing about it is if we were at home and we weren't able to go to the game like today, you'd be on social media, you'd be tweeting all your thoughts and your frustrations. And the good thing is people can actually tweet them on our stream, and we can discuss them. So the first one coming in, of many hundreds of comments that are coming in, Darren G on YouTube, thank God we can make 5 changes. Now that's a good enough point. I think when you're looking at that Celtic side, we still have that adaptability. Would you make, and I know it's not an MO of Neil Lennon's, would you make any changes at this stage? Or are you thinking to yourself, right, they've gone ahead, but it's not as though we've been under the cosh, although we're not creating very much?
I think the front two, Elanusi, Klimala, and maybe Cham, I think they've got to be the suspects for any change. Because it's creating, and whether it's the runs for the front two or midfield's not creating enough, I think that's the 3 that I'd be looking at going, I'm going to change.
So who's your creator? Who's your creator on the bench, Lawrence?
Has Big Roger got the legs for 45?
I'm not too sure.
So that's kind of another thing. Ajeti and Griffiths got the legs for 45. It's, Klimala's, he's put a hell of a lot of work in. He's not as much a goal threat as Ajeti or Griff. So do they have the legs for 45? I don't think Turnbull's going to be the creator. I wouldn't make a Turnbull change for Cham, but I'd maybe make a Rogic change with half an hour to go.
Well, I would be bold at this stage. You're a goal down. Rangers are just going to shut up shop. Morelos is getting away with murder. Yeah, I counted 5. You said about 6. So there's been constant infringements in play by Morelos. He should at least be on a booking. A slap to somebody's head, however small and slight it was, he's raised his hands to a player. He gets away with that. So I think we know what's going to be happening in the second half in that respect. Bruni will continue to wind him up, and unless it's a punch or something really obvious, the referee's going to let it go.
Well, let's be honest, Rangers players are allowed to punch Scott Brown and stay in the park.
We've seen it.
I think the standard's a yellow card, and when it went to review, the refs decided a yellow card was the right decision. So the ref's not going to do us any favours, but we knew that before the game.
Even a small one. The free kick, we were, at least 12 yards away from the ball.
Yeah. We were 2 cuts to the park away, and then we get a free kick, and he's just over 1 cut to the park away. You can see the lines in the grass. So, but we know the ref's not going to give us anything. I think we need to start moving the ball a bit quicker and create a bit more. I know Griff and Ayeta are on the bench, but maybe Lenny's thinking there's only 30 minutes in him, 20 minutes. I don't know how much is in him. But Griff, when he came on the other week, he certainly reinvigorated the whole team, didn't he?
I'm not looking at a wholesale change, particularly at the back. There's been one lapse. I think Welsh has intercepted about 3 balls. He's played very well. He's very composed.
Some cracking headers.
Definitely.
He's picking the right passes. I mean, there was one there that Cham should have read it. It was a nice pace in the ball into the box. You think, Cham, you read that, you're getting that ball across.
It was a good idea. He played the right ball, didn't he?
Aye.
But you're looking at Cham and El Yunusi. I think at least one of them has been a luxury in the first half, to be fair. You could take one of them off and bring on a striker. And then you're going to be more offensive, and you're changing your shape in the final third.
Aye,
I think with Kamara, he's showed his inexperience. There's a couple of times where he's fouled rather than he should have been putting his arms out to get the foul, and to say to the Rangers player, "This is my ball. I'm taking it. You're going to need to come in and foul me." But he doesn't have that kind of experience to put that sort of arms out and play for the free kick, or whether it's the old-fashioned kind of Dalglish, the backside into the defender, just to make sure that there's no way he's getting that ball. So I would definitely change Griffiths. Mo had a chance, and he probably should have showed a wee bit more composure, and probably the game. There's not much in the game.
See, when that ball dropped to him, Kev, when that ball dropped to him, you can just visualise Edouard taking that, and doing something with it.
Well, even if Mo went down, the boys filled him. If Mo goes down, the boy's last man.
But it's such a good chance. You're thinking, I can score this.
Yes.
Well, it's go and score, but then you've got to do it. But even then, the ref's not even had a word with the guy. He's still fouled Mo, even though he's got the shot away. The ref's not even had a foul with him. It's the last man. He's fouled him. The ref's.
I think he's let everything go. Morelos, there's definitely 2 yellow cards there. He slapped Brown. There wasn't a great deal in it, but that's a yellow card. He's also jumped into Duffy. That's a yellow card. There's been a few other niggles that are only fouls. That are only fouls, but there's been definitely 2 yellow cards.
But I think Bruni will continually work on him in the second half.
I think Klimala needs to learn to stay up as well. He dropped deep a couple of times. He's dropping too deep. He should be shouting at Mo or somebody else or Cham. Listen, you drop deep. I need to stretch the park. I need to be on the defender's shoulder. Because if he's dropping deep,
there's nothing up there.
There's nobody to hit. Aye.
A couple of wee points coming through. The first one I'm going to bring up is Gordon Wilson. Welcome back to the show, Gordon. You're commenting on YouTube. Relax, boys. Only half time. 100%.
Yep.
I'm not panicking after that first half. It's been a poor first half.
I'm still going to stay with 4-1.
4-1, right? You're 2-1. I'm out the game because I was 2-0. But I'm going to go with Kevin and go 2-1. But when I'm looking at that, Welsh hasn't put a foot wrong. Duffy has, but he's still showing his influence in that centre half position. I wouldn't make wholesale changes in there, but I think we're definitely having a luxury between Cham and El Yunusi. I would maybe take El Yunusi off and consider bringing on Ayeti or Griffiths.
Aye, I think
that's the change I'd make.
Cham, El Yunusi and Klimala, but if Griff and Ayeti aren't, you don't know how fit they are.
Surely
it's those 3 that you're kind of looking at changing in the second half at some point, isn't it?
Surely Griff's got 45 minutes in the tank for a game against Rangers where...
Or even just for his free kicks.
Adrenaline would take you through that. A quality striker. I mean, the goals he scored throughout his career, everywhere. From Wolves to Dundee to Livingston.
Set pieces, his corners
to Celtic.
His set pieces, absolutely, Lawrence.
Because we've had a few that were just...
I don't think Klimala should be taken off at this stage. When you're looking at El Yunusi and Cham, who are the 2 players I'm looking at the moment, thinking if I'm making a change, they're the 2 that I'd be looking to take off. Take one of them off and bring on a striker. If you're going to bring on your fittest striker, the man who we're focusing on at the moment on the footage is Lee Griffiths. But Ayeti, how far away is he from match fitness?
We were talking about this in the Caraway Up because it's hamstring, Kev's reckoning. You know, it could be. Does it come on and then the hamstring's one that can go quickly again? Can it?
Correct. It's a dangerous one. you're fit, but there again, if you're a striker, you go for that wee sharp turn. The hamstring could go again. It's one of those where it's a gamble. But when do you play that gamble? Is it 70 minutes? Is it 65? I don't think it's 45.
I think second half.
Because that's a waste of a sub.
I'd like to see both Griff and Ayeti get some minutes in the second half. I think and I'd like to see Logic on at some point. So I would be changing at some point during that game Kamala, El Yunusi and Chama to keep playing like they're playing. It'd be those three I'd be changing.
We also need to get the ball out earlier to Laxalt and Frimpong, because I don't think we've shown enough down those flanks. They're the two guys that can create something for us. And because they've not been creating, you've got Barisic and Tavernier, who, by the way, has been their best player. Tavernier, absolutely no doubt about it.
There's a kick by Morelos that we missed. Kick Stuffy.
And he's kicked right in front of Beaton.
Right
he's kicked Brown as well, you know. So he's got away with a number of bookable offences, and he slaps Brown on the back of the head.
But there's a precedent for this, because he kicked Brown in the groin with the same ref. If I'm not mistaken, the ref didn't see anything wrong with it then. He's now kicked Duffy in the groin, and the same ref sees nothing wrong with it.
Now, it was ridiculous. The last game we saw Morelos getting away with murder, and it was Beaton who was officiating that game. The same thing's happening here. He shouldn't even be on the park, but we knew before the game, we spoke about Beaton, we knew that this was going to be an issue. And I think Celtic just need to keep our own house in order in the meantime. We need to start using the flanks, and we need to start looking at El Yunusi and Encham the first 5-10 minutes of this game.
Frimpong's been disappointed, I think. He's not been pushing as well to take the man on.
I don't think he's had that many options. There's only really been Neacham that's been across there to try and support him. I don't think we've really kind of got going. I don't think there's a great deal in the game, guys, but I don't think we've really kind of got going. When Rangers have the ball, we're not pressing them. We're pressing them by ones and twos, and the press is...
It's disjointed, isn't it?
Yes, it's not...
You need
it's not
press
like
as a team.
It's correct. It's not like a full team going for the full press and putting somebody under a wee bit of pressure where they can maybe make that loose pass, the mistake that we've seen in the past, because these Rangers players are well known for it. From Goldston, who's passed the ball out before at Celtic Park, Callum's got onto it, and before you know it, there's two passes later and James Forrest scores.
Now, the thing is, Kevin, I know that the Celtic fraternity would much rather listen to you and Lawrence than Alan McCoist and Andy Walker, but the second half has kicked off, so we'll go back to the action and we'll rejoin everybody at full time for the full time reaction, and hopefully we'll be looking at a Celtic victory. So thanks everybody for tuning in.